afternoon and welcome to Across the Fence. I'm Jolay Whitney. Today we're talking about an annual summit at UVM. RISE 2024 showcases the best in research, innovation, sustainability, and entrepreneurship. This two-day conference takes place on June 24th and 25th. Our guest today is one of the architects of the celebration of innovation, Tricia Coates. Among her many leadership roles at the University of Vermont, Tricia is the director of the Leahy Institute for Rural Partnerships. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's great to be on Across the Fence.
And we're happy to have you. And as I mentioned, this is the second year of the RISE conference. Can you tell me about it?
Sure, absolutely. So the RISE Summit is an opportunity for us to welcome the community into UVM to participate in conversations about research and other activities that are going on at the university in partnership with businesses and community organizations and regional associations. And really this conference is an opportunity for all of us to learn and to ask questions and hopefully to be inspired by the value that research brings to our communities.
And as you kind of stated already, this isn't just for academics, it's open to the public. Why is that?
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, research that we are highlighting at the summit has a lot to do with the needs of our community. So what we were trying to do is highlight where there are partnerships between UVM researchers, UVM students, and community organizations. And maybe it would be helpful if I gave you some examples of what our participants might learn and hear about when they come to RISE in a few weeks. We have a research partnership through our College of Education and Social Services with the Agency of Education to research the impact that our community school model is having around the state. And so our researchers are partnered with those community schools and they're providing data, they're providing research, they're providing analysis about the outcomes that these schools are trying to reach with this national model. So if you come to RISE, you'll hear not just the researchers, but you'll hear the school and community leaders, you'll hear the Agency of Education leadership talk about this work and the value that both research and the engagement of our students are bringing to that project. And we have additional examples, Jolay, in refugee resettlement in rural areas, in technology solutions for clean water. We have some really interesting research partnerships happening up in the Northeast Kingdom this summer around food systems. So we're including the community because the community is very much a partner in the work that's happening in our laboratories and in our field work across the university.
A real variety of topics that you guys are covering.
Yeah, it's a variety of topics. It's a large university and there are challenges really across the state and across the region that are benefiting from or that are partnering with us to tackle some big challenges.
All right, and the topic of the first day is placemaking in practice. Can you tell me a little about this topic and who your keynote speaker is?
When we talk about placemaking, we're really talking about the intention of a community that has come together and made a decision about a change that might bring better health, it might bring prosperity, it might bring their community a purpose. And so what can a university bring to those projects, to those efforts that would be beneficial? And what can the university then learn from these places as we shape our own research agendas? So when we talk about placemaking, we're really talking about what the university can bring in terms of information and data and tools, and that could be anything from drones to help map a town forest, to best practices from other states in terms of river hydrology. And it could be the use of mapping to better understand data we have about wastewater or zoning regulations. So really you see how those kinds of tools resonate with organizations that are trying to advance really practical solutions for things like housing and flood resilience and improving access to high quality education and rural and healthcare in rural areas.
So applying some of those larger topics to more on the ground things that people are facing every day.
Exactly, and again, I want to be clear in these community-based research partnerships, it's really a reciprocal relationship where we are working with our partners to really curate what the research questions are and what the community need is that requires a response. So there's learning to be done all around. There's information to be shared, there's data to be gathered, and then there's feedback to be gathered from the part of the researchers who are involved.
And the idea of placemaking reminds me a lot of the land grant, which kind of is a huge part of UVM. And what does this 19th century vestige kind of have to do with what UVM does these days?
Yeah, so we're very proud of our 19th century vestige, especially as the home of the senator who created the land grant institution law, Justin Morrill. But at its core, the University of Vermont's land grant mission is about service to the state of Vermont. And since 1791, the university has been active across the state, providing especially support for our agricultural community, support for our health and well-being through our College of Education, College of Medicine, and College of Nursing. What RISE is all about is really shining a light on those really active and productive partnerships and also new opportunities to partner with the University of Vermont. We have active partnerships between our College of Engineering and state agencies around the well-being and the health of our rivers and our lake. And so how can we amplify partnerships that are in service to the state of Vermont, and how can we invite more partnerships? How can we invite more community organizations and businesses to partner with the University of Vermont? That is the core of our land grant mission. And so you'll see that on full display at this year's RISE Summit.
And when people think of Vermont and maybe even the land grant, they might think agriculture, but is it more apt that you'd like them to think research when they think of Vermont?
They should think about agriculture, and they should think about the, all of the many, honestly, national experts working at the University of Vermont to support our food system and our lands and our working landscape, both in forestry and in agriculture. We have the nation's only agriculture research station devoted to food systems. There's a lot that the university brings to Vermont agriculture and intends to bring as Vermont agriculture transforms. And in addition to agriculture and food systems, the university really, I think if you went around the state and you asked different people, there have been deep partnerships with our College of Engineering, with our School of Business, with our College of Arts and Sciences. So there is research relevant to key community needs across the state, whether that's mental health care, whether it's healthy ecosystems, whether it's the needs of rural communities to build resilience in the face of challenges like disasters.
And you already touched on tech a little bit, but we did a show Across the Fence pretty recently about the semiconductor lab that UVM has been working with. Is this the kind of partnership that you guys would like to highlight?
We love to talk about our tech hub, so thank you for asking. Our tech hub is focused on growing Vermont's tech economy in a way that that people and companies and young people across the state can access opportunity. And so what the UVM, we call it the VGAN Tech Hub, it is focused on semiconductor technology. And it's a partnership with not just Global Foundries, which is an international leader in gallium nitride semiconductor technology, but 40 additional partners. And these are innovators in this field, in addition to workforce partners and state agencies. And we're coming together to build an ecosystem around technology. And we believe that there is a lot of opportunity for Vermonters who would like to come to work in this industry. We believe there's a lot of opportunity for startup companies who want to take advantage of both the laboratory and the prototyping that we're creating. So the Tech Hub it started out as a proposal to the federal government for $40 million of funding to support all of the aspects of this partnership. And we're hoping to hear in July whether or not Vermont will be granted that fund. But in the meantime, the partnership itself, the partnership building, has created opportunities for partners to work together, for workforce providers to start to think about how we are providing opportunities for folks to enter the tech economy, and for innovation that's already happening with these partner companies. So I'm always happy to talk about the Tech Hub, and I think there's probably going to be some more news that we can share with you as the summer goes forward.
All right, something to look forward to.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that's all we have time for, but thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, and I encourage everyone to register for RISE. It's free, uvm.edu/RISE.
All right, great.
Thank
you so much. And that takes care of Across the Fence for today. My thanks to everyone working behind the scenes here at WCAX who make this program possible. I'm Jolie Whitney. Have a good one.